Several years ago, we led a delegation of faith leaders to Honduras to look at root causes, to help us understand why we were seeing this flow of people coming from Honduras and other places in Central America.
Cuando empezaron a disparar contra mí, mi alma iba, yo la sentía que ya estaba en el cielo. Correr, no puedes huir, como que te pesa todo el cuerpo. No puedes, no sé, ni correr. Y es una situación que no se la deseo a nadie. Mira la muerte en vivo.
The Bajoaguan is one of those communities that has been resisting to maintain life for the people that are there. And Rosman's family has been part of a cooperative effort to be able to stay and maintain on the land.
Yo estaba en una reunión, yo miro las personas que vienen encapuchados. Cuando miro dos que vienen armados, yo no tuve otra opción de decir, ahí vienen, solamente ahí vienen, dije. Cuando empiezan a disparar y dijeron que ni un hijo se mueva. Y así nosotros no hablamos la verdad. Y porque cuidábamos los beneficios de todos, nosotros queríamos que comiéramos todos, los 286 socios que somos, pero hay un grupo paramilitar como de unos que quieren robarse todo.
A vivir o a morir, pero es muy terrible. Por el miedo de que fueran a dispararle a la casa y que un tiro nos tocara, ahí dormíamos nosotros. Un gran miedo, un terror terrible, porque ellos ahí caminaban y la policía no hacía nada.
Habemos 3 compañeros del día del asesinato, mi cuñado. Que andamos huyendo acá en Estados Unidos de Norteamérica.
Del reserva de la biosfera de Río Plátano queda en Colón.
Caminamos hasta la orilla del río Bravo, que está Estados Unidos y México. El siguiente día que ya los pasamos a las 8 de la noche para tierra de Estados Unidos, un muchacho casi se ahoga por pasarlos a nosotros. Donde lo estábamos cambiando, a la par había una persona muerta. No sabemos cuántos días tenía de muerta. Todo el que vaya hallando a alguien tiene que sacar el ID para avisar a sus familiares que él no vuelve.
We had the opportunity to visit the community in Bajoaguan, and they were reeling from the shooting deaths of 2 of the members of their cooperative who were assassinated because of the work that they do in the community. And we met Rosman's mother, who told us, who herself was in hiding, was having to live in hiding, and she told us that her son had had to flee immediately to the United States, and if we could call him and see if we could help. So when we returned to the United States a few days later, we were able to reach out to Rosman and find out where he was and to be able to see what kind of support he needed. One of the forms of help he needed was a safe place to be here in the United States, housing, and accompaniment support so that he could pursue his right to asylum, so that he could pursue his right to due process and not get deported as the US government was trying to deport him. So we were able to reach out to the faith communities in our network and find out if there was a faith community who'd be willing to support and sponsor Rosman by providing housing and providing accompaniment.
I think it's a bigger thing than we thought it would be when we first started this. We sort of thought we'd just be a room to live in and maybe give room and board, but it's a much deeper connection than that, and it's been a real journey for us.
Mike provides a lot of Spanish, and I didn't know so much Spanish, but I was living with Rosman, so it was finding out that magical way you can connect without language. And there's a lot of other ways we connect. You know, there's a big unknown when you don't know people, and I think maybe there is an initial like, well, who are these people? They're different than us. But I guess opening yourself to allowing other people in.
So the role of the sponsor is really important, to be able to provide housing and shelter for at least 6 months so people have some place to stabilize. One of the important roles of the housing hosts was to provide a stable place for them to catch their breath and to be able to figure out their next steps. And one of the important next steps was to seek legal support so that they could pursue an asylum claim and that they would be safe while they're here and going through their asylum process. Another really important role is the role of the accompaniment team, because it would be too much for the sponsor or housing host to do everything themselves. But an accompaniment team provides a team of 5 people who can work with the person coming and work with the housing host to figure out what kind of support do they need. That may mean going to court with somebody. It might mean showing them how to use public transportation, helping them figure out some of the basic services around the city. So the accompaniment team is really just to be there as hands-on support as needed, and you don't need to have all the answers and you don't need to be an expert, but really to just say, I'm committed to you and to form this relationship with you to help figure out what's needed and what's next. Some of the root causes in Honduras that are causing people to flee are certainly our backing of the 2009 coup in Honduras and our continued backing of governments that do not represent the people of Honduras and do not have the interests of the people of Honduras in mind. And we continue to support and prop up a government that is using U.S. military aid against its own people. A lot of this military aid is going to defend large corporations that are engaged in illegal activities like illegal mining, illegally displacing people from their land. Those who are rising up against that and speaking up for their rights to not have to leave their land are the ones who are being targeted, shot at, killed, and forced to leave.
A lot of Americans don't realize the history, but once you know the history, then you realize how responsible we are for the suffering that is happening in Central America right now, and why, therefore, people feel the need to flee from the the political repression and the violence that's happening. So when they make their way here, we really have a responsibility as Americans to make them feel welcome.
Muy seguros por todos lados. Más él que tiene ya su permiso de trabajo.
No soy una reina. It's like,
One of the beautiful things that we notice is that once people are arrived and they've been able to stabilize and get settled, is that they then play a vital and critical role in providing accompaniment and support to their family members who may have to flee after them and to come after them. And it's a role that immigrants have played for generations of being able to support other family members. But sometimes the first person who arrives, they may not have that support. And so that's what we're asking for sponsors and accompaniment teams to really help stabilize that first person in the family, and they can play a really powerful role with the rest of their family. Unless we address the root causes that are forcing people to leave, more and more people will have to come. And so if we're serious about immigration and about supporting people who don't want to migrate, many people would rather stay home, and they have strong ties to the land and to their community and to their homes in these other places. They don't want to have to leave. But we need to, if we're serious about this, we have to really address the fundamental root causes that are driving people away from their homes.
Yeah, looks great.
Does the TV work now?
No.
Todavía no, pero va a funcionar. Cheese.
Are we doing the
Encima de la banquilla.
Sí, del El otro.
tienes cocinar?
Mira para buenos amigos que tenemos.
Gracias a ustedes por haber venido a nuestro humilde hogar.
Gracias a ustedes, está formado.
Food is awesome.